Hello, Be Smart viewers. Welcome back to another engaging episode of Manager's Mantra, where we connect with industry leaders who are shaping the future of business management. Today, we have with us Hari Balaji, a partner in the technology consulting practice at EY, focused on generative AI and AI-led transformation. With more than 2 decades of global experience across AI, SaaS, and financial services, Hari has built AI-driven solutions for some of the world's largest asset managers, banks, and insurers. He began his career building derivative solutions at Goldman Sachs and Deutsche Bank, working across London, Hong Kong, and Singapore. So, without waiting further, let's jump right into this insightful discussion. Hi, Hari. Very good afternoon from our side, and thank you so much for taking out your time and participating in this video interaction with us. We are very sure that the viewers of this session will just love this session, and it will be a great learning experience for them.
I hope so too. Thank you so much for having me, Abhishek. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
That's a great pleasure as ours. So we'll start discussing the questions, Hari. The first question that I wanted to ask you is that, given your work in technology consulting and digital transformation, how do you think young business leaders should design their tech architecture to remain flexible as, the different business models, regulations, and customer expectations, they keep changing?
Right. So tech architecture, right? Actually, let me sort of talk about it slightly differently, right? So I think the topic of the hour is AI, and frankly, my sense is that the underlying concepts with respect to AI are still continuously moving, right? So LLMs as a space came about 3 years ago, and then we started with a focus on RAG. And then agentic came about, and most recently we are hearing about LLMs not being the path to AGI and moving to JEPA, right? So I think as a technology, AI is continuously evolving, and I don't think that is going to change, right? But the kind of things that will not change will be the need for high quality data and reliable data pipelines, the need for well-documented processes that are being followed and therefore can be interpreted by AI. Having the right mindset and the right AI first culture across the organization, and that involves skilling, talent development, all of that. And beyond that, I would say the need to stay nimble and modular, right? So as long as you sort of have these broad guiding principles with you as you think about not just tech architecture, but let's call it organizational architecture in response to AI. I think irrespective of whether business models or regulations or customer expectations change, will be in a good place sort of to be able to handle all of that change. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, definitely, Hari. Thank you so much. So, from your experience advising enterprises at scale, what are the most common blind spots you think leaders have today? When you particularly think about transformation, especially in a dynamic market like India.
Right. So I think let's start with sort of this idea, right? That I think the question today when it comes to transformation is all about when AI gets very good at doing everything, then the transformation challenge becomes being good at everything outside the AI, right? And if I have to talk about a couple of things there, which are potential blind spots, we can probably start with this idea of ownership, right? Which is that I think there is fragmented ownership of AI-led outcomes within most organizations today. So being able to have everyone rowing in the same aisle, or everyone sort of aligned when it comes to AI-led outcomes, I think is probably one good starting point. And I think that is something that is commonly a blind spot, where the expectations that, let's say, business leaders have from AI versus the users of those AI, I think are sometimes misaligned, right? And therefore having everyone on the same page is important. Beyond that, I mean, I like to talk about this in terms of a couple of different P words. Having the platforms in place, having the process in place, uh, forging the right partnerships, making sure the right set of stakeholders and people are brought into the conversation early on. I think these are a couple of things that we need to start doing better in order to be able to deliver AI-led transformation at scale, right? Because I think that we focus too much on the technology and specifically AI capabilities and not spend enough time on all of these enabling factors, which we need to get in place so that we can get the most out of AI. And I think here, definitely, I feel that my seated AI is quite interesting and gives me a unique vantage point because as a full services consulting firm where we work across strategy, technology, risk, HR consulting, all of it, we're able to sort of holistically attack client problems and be able to solve them and help our clients get the most out of AI. So I think that would be the way I would think about it. I think the question was on blind spots. So yeah, I mean, I think that is really everything outside the AI is what I think starts to matter a lot and what we need to focus on.
Thank you so much, Hari. Since you have started speaking about AI, and definitely that is something which we cannot ignore today. I mean, forget ignoring. Without the discussions of AI, no discussion is probably complete today. But then India has seen a significant surge in AI investments under the AI mission. But then, what opportunities have been unlocked so far, and what are the key execution challenges businesses have faced or are facing in translating these investments into tangible outcomes?
Right. So yeah, I think we are very thankful for what the India AI mission has been able to do in terms of having the foresight to invest in and democratize compute as a key pillar of what they do, right? And if you look at what we saw at the India AI Summit recently, I think the first and foremost thing that has done is it has evangelized AI um, to the masses in a way that we've never seen before and has made it front and center as far as awareness and interest and curiosity is concerned, right? Beyond that, if you look at some of the early beneficiaries of the compute grants from the GPU grants from the India AI mission, like Sarvam and Jnani and several others, they all put out a whole host of new state-of-the-art models, as well as addressed things like vernacular text to speech, speech to text, and so on. And all of that was very interesting to see. And definitely, I think will play an important part in the way we sort of democratize AI as far as sort of the India is concerned. Now that said, I think we are still sort of in day one of the test match, if you will, right? And there is a lot to do and quite a long distance to go from here. In terms of execution challenges, I would sort of go back to sort of what I spoke about earlier, which is I think having, first of all, I mean, the best time to have collected a lot of business data and telemetry was probably 5 years ago, but the second best time is today. So I think we are spending a lot of time working with our clients and getting both collection as well as preparation of data in place so that AI can get the most out of it. The other is sort of process harmonization and process readiness. So I think this again has two parts. The first is if there's a process already in place, is that being followed? And does that represent the actual lived experience of users? I think that is one part of the puzzle. But then the second part of the puzzle is the process that you have currently allowing AI to make the most out of it, or do you have to re-engineer that process, right? So I think that is another area which becomes an execution challenge, and we will want to spend some time on. The third is, I think, probably platform thinking. Across the board, I find that a large portion of India Inc. Has been able to execute a large number of pilots and small projects and experiments, but I think scaling has become a challenge. And one of the reasons for that is not sort of having the right platforms and partnerships in place. Right. So that is another execution challenge that we probably want to spend a bit of time on, and sort of something that needs addressing. And then the last part is really that the way business leaders perceive AI and the way users perceive AI, and I say users, I mean the people in whose hands these AI tools are going to be given and who are going to actually be able to deliver better outcomes or improved outcomes, who are expected to deliver those improved outcomes. um, you know, Positioning AI correctly with them, skilling them, making sure they're part of the conversation right at the start of the AI transformation process. I think all of these are extremely important. So I think these are some of the execution challenges, and getting all of this right, I think, is what will help people get the most out of AI and what AI has to offer.
Thank you, Hari. Hari, clients today are demanding faster outcomes. So how do consulting teams, strike a balance between the speed of delivery and strategic depth?
Yeah, so this is actually a very hard problem because I mean we did this Idea of India survey late last year, and we put out the report with CII in November. And one of the key findings of that report was that 91% of business leaders felt that speed of development was a critical factor for them to be able to decide which AI projects to greenlight, right? So people are very impatient and they want to see outcomes very quickly, right? And so I think there's definitely a demand for faster outcomes. I think that impatience is there. At the same time, what it takes to do a proof of concept or an MVP and what it takes to scale it and then to institutionalize it are two very different skills and capabilities, and the decisions you make will be quite different, right? So there are approaches that we are trying to take now which will help. One of them being that we try to sort of use a phase delivery approach, which is define very clearly the milestones, think end to end in terms of a long-term journey, and sort of keep establishing a series of proof points and achieving various milestones, and then scaling, delivering some quick wins, and then scaling to platforms after that, right? And having the full roadmap from how we transition from a quick win to the long-term scaling in place on day one, and getting some alignment from management that this is how we will run that process. The second thing that has also happened is that because technology is evolving so quickly, we are having to be much more modular and much more agile in the way we deliver. And so certain things like having the architecture and frameworks in place, but at the same time, modularizing things a lot so that as certain parts of certain components evolve, we're able to quickly replace them with better capabilities that are available in the market at any point in time. Shortening delivery cycles, bringing AI not just as part of the solution, but also as part of the delivery process. I think that is something that we are starting to do a lot more so that we're able to shorten delivery cycles. And of course, we have to do all of this taking into account the entire responsible AI, security, compliance, trust, all of those aspects as well, right? So I think to step back and to answer that question, I think the expectation in the market that we should deliver quickly is now ubiquitous. I don't think we are at a point where people are willing to make the trade-off of saying, I will wait a bit more time, but I will pick up a better solution. All right. If you're willing to deliver a better solution, I'm happy to wait for a while longer. I think that time has gone. So we are having to rely a lot more on standardizing the architecture, having the frameworks, but staying modular, and taking a phased delivery approach where we present what the quick wins are, but have a roadmap right out to the phased, to the scaled full scale platform later on, and take a milestone based approach so that we're able to get those proof points quickly and win the right to do a more protracted, longer term delivery, which will result in the scaled platform. I think that's how we've been looking at it.
Thank you so much, Hari. Uh, so let's just talk about, some of the emerging trends in the sector. I mean, what according to you are some of the most important emerging trends in this space that young leaders joining the sector should take care about?
Yeah, I think it's a bit hard to think about what will be a trend that will stand the test of time. I think, okay, if I have to name a couple of things, I'd first start by saying that, first of all, I think AI is here to stay in the long term, right? I think, irrespective of what you think about AI in the short term, has it been hyped? Is it over-promised? I think you can rest assured that if you're a young professional starting your career today, AI will be part of your career in the long term. And therefore, the only choice you have is to lean into it and to believe that whatever you do in the short, medium, and long term, you will sort of embrace AI and try to get the most out of it. I think that's one thing which is not going to go away, right? The second thing at the same time is that I don't think, especially just talking from my seat, right? A lot of traditional professions which are solving real client problems are going to go away, right? So when I was a startup founder, I was constantly told that, don't get too wedded to the technology, focus on problems rather than solutions, and keep evolving, right? And that's true even today. Every day when I walk into one of my clients' offices, I see that the problem statements that they have are largely standing the test of time. We are only constantly evolving the way we are solving those problems. And the value that I bring to the table, or any consultant brings to the table, is having seen that same problem in 5 other places, and therefore having abstracted away what the core of that problem is and how it can be solved, right? And I think that is not going to change, right? So I would say, like, there are a number of, within every profession, I think it's quite easy to sit down and identify what are the core problem statements which are going to stand the test of time. So irrespective of what career you pick, I think it's important to stay aligned with those. And that's probably one. And the other is that you need to definitely uh, be very AI positive and sort of be completely prepared and lean into uh, what the latest and greatest of AI is and what it's able to bring to the table with respect to your chosen career or profession, right? So I think those are probably the two things I would focus on, right? The rest of it is, I think, I mean, there's so many things which are fashionable today, at least in the world of AI, which may not stand the test of time. So, it's probably a lot of noise. So we don't want to spend any time thinking too deeply about that.
Yeah, thanks, Hari. Thanks. That was really insightful. So, a lot of MBA aspirants, a lot of young professionals, a lot of looking to build their career in consulting and technology, would be very much willing to know that where the real job opportunities are emerging today and what skills actually, matter beyond degrees and certifications to grab those opportunities. What are your thoughts about it?
Right. So I think without a question, all our career paths are changing and going to change going forward as well, right? And I think it's very hard to predict what certain jobs or careers will look like 5 or 10 years out. So if I reflect on my own journey, I started as a quant on Wall Street. I did that for about 10 years. Then I had a second life as an entrepreneur. And now I'm learning to be a consultant, right? Frankly. So I think the one thing that we all have to have is a growth mindset. And I think college can give you a pedigree. And of course, I'm not debating that you will learn a lot in college or in university, but your long-term continuous learning is your responsibility, right? And we all have to be willing to continuously learn and redefine and reinvent ourselves depending on what opportunities life throws at us. So I think that is the only thing which is going to be a constant, because we're definitely going into an era where a lot of traditional ways of doing things will change. The large scale problem statements in the world, right? Starting from something as basic as, how do we, feed the world, to, protecting ourselves against the weather and clothing and all of the basic transportation and logistics, and all of those basic requirements and needs and problem statements are not going away. But at the same time, how those get solved are going to continuously change. So from as a young professional today, I think you need to have a very strong growth mindset. You need to fundamentally believe that you're a creative problem solver, and that's what you're here for. And having a very strong identity as I am X or I am Y. For example, saying that you're a Java developer, or you're an investment banker. I think those kind of identities, you need to hold on to them very loosely, because if you hold on to them too tightly, not only do you have do you have the possibility that what you're doing today is going to get disrupted, but you may miss out on some interesting new things that are out there which you didn't realize existed. Right? There are so many new careers which have come about in the last 15-20 years, and I'm sure many more new careers are going to come about over the course of the next 20. So I think having that open-mindedness and that curiosity to be willing to um, take some risks, learn some new skills, and keep adapting to what opportunities life throws at you, I think that is the most important thing today.
Thank you, Hari. So, we would just get some more details about this. Obviously, as you said, that, AI has brought disruptions. We have also seen that how it has disrupted employments, a lot of layoffs happening. And today, many aspirants, they're also scared. They're worried that, automation and AI may reduce tech roles, many jobs, in fact. Now, is there a certain way that students should, work on to future-proof their careers in the space?
Yeah, so I think, I'm going to spend a little bit of time, probably trying to reiterate some of the things that I said, right? So I think first of all, um, people who tell you that, no one can with very strong conviction tell you that jobs are going to get reduced or increased in any sector, frankly, at this point, right? Let me sort of try to take some examples there, right? So you had, Jeff Hinton, the father of deep learning, the godfather of deep learning, tell us about probably even 10 years ago that we will not need radiologists anymore, right? But he probably made this prediction probably around 2015 or so, or even earlier. But today, even today, we still have plenty of radiologists in the world. And while image recognition and convolutional neural networks have solved a lot of the challenges, and probably radiology as a profession has gotten better, the world still needs radiologists, right? Um, Similarly, maybe like 2 years ago, you had, Jan LeCun say that um, AI cannot solve video generation, right? Because AI needs a physics model or a world model. And I mean, in many ways, he still stands by that thesis. But we do have a lot of AI models today which are able to do very coherent videos, which are sometimes even very difficult to detect that they are AI created, right? So you've got one instance where AI failed on its promise, and another instance where AI was not expected to solve a problem, but it did that really, really well, right? So I think fundamentally, we have to accept that there's going to be a lot of uncertainty in the short and medium term, right? So I think approaching this from a mindset of how do I future proof my career? How do I protect myself? How do I de risk myself? I think that is not very helpful, okay? Because that shows an attitude of fear and negativity. And I think that is going to be detrimental to how your career evolves. The only right answer to something like this is to have an extremely positive mindset and to keep your eyes and ears open and to read and to educate yourself on how AI is evolving and the opportunities that it's bringing about. And like I said earlier, having that growth mindset and believing that you're a creative problem solver, not getting too attached to any job identity. I think all of those things are very important. And so I think attitude at the end of the day is like the most important thing in this market, and for anyone getting starting their careers today, right? Your first job does not define you. There are so many things that are going to come about which we don't know anything of today, and there might be lots of new and interesting and extremely challenging roles which are there for you to pick up and to have a very exciting and interesting career. But if you are too conservative and approach it from a mindset of negativity or risk aversion, I think you will miss out on a lot of those things, right? So I think that's probably the message I would like to leave people with.
So, thank you so much, Hari. I mean, with that, we come to the end of the conversation and discussion. Thanks that you took, some time out and participated in this interaction. This was a great session, and we would love to be in touch with you and have you again in any of our future sessions of Be Smart Business Standard. Thank you so much, Hari.
Thank you for the opportunity, and have a lovely day. Thank you.
An alumnus of IIT Madras and IIM Ahmedabad, Hari believes that while it is easier than ever to build with AI, the real challenge lies in building the right things. That's a wrap on this episode of Manager's Mantra. Thank you, Hari, for sharing your insights on the technology consulting space and providing career suggestions for the management students. Be Smart viewers, we hope you found this conversation helpful. Share your thoughts with us at besmart.edit@bsml.in. Follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram for more such insightful and inspiring content. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning.